This is Techstrong TV.
Hi, Mitch Ashley here at Atlassian Team 24, talking about one of my most favorite topics around Trello. Been a Trello user for, close to a decade, maybe even a little bit longer. So it's great to be talking with you. Is it head of product for Trello?
That's right, yep. I'm head of product for Trello.
My name. Pronounce your name, Gaurav
Kataria.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Very happy to be here. Thanks for having me here, Mitch.
It's great. So I don't know if we have enough time to talk about all the stuff I'd love to talk about.
Yeah.
How long have you been working with Trello or been?
I've been on Trello for over 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So fourth year running. Trello has been around for almost 13 years. It's an amazing product. Has been around a long time. We have had like over 100 million people create a Trello account. It's kind of one of the most downloaded apps on App Store, Play Store. So very ubiquitous, used around the world in 20 languages. Yeah.
The nice thing is it's so easy. It's so approachable to get into. It's got kind of a low friction to start. Just doing a to-do list or my own workflow or my small team or scaling it up.
Yep, absolutely. And I think we all are used to a lot of pieces of software today. I mean, we live in SaaS world, software as a service. In a typical company, people may be using 50, 100 different software applications. But typically, when we are describing a typical company, people using 100 applications, you're thinking about a worker who's like a typical knowledge worker sitting at a desk, sometimes with like 2 monitors and managing like a tech worker, or even like a very professional knowledge worker sitting at a desk with multiple screens and juggling between different apps. But we have users that are out there in the field, like people use Trello when they are on the go, like roofers standing on a roof and construction workers. They're using Trello on their phone to manage their workflow. So it's not only a tool for knowledge workers, it's a tool for all workers in all kinds of workflows. I know, Mitch, you mentioned that your kind of company uses Trello and you are all on the field and interviewing people on the go. Maybe you can tell us like how you use Trello in your organization.
Great question. Well, everything we do in Techstrong runs on Trello in terms of workflow. Used in a lot of different ways, but one of the primary ways is whenever a sales order comes in. Hey, Atlassian would like us to come and do this project with them, or be on a webinar, or produce a special event for them. Whatever it is, usually when you engage with the customer, there's multiple things we're doing. So that all breaks out into cards that go onto different functional boards, team boards, and that could be anybody from the person who's planning and orchestrating a virtual event to a content piece that research might need to run, or a webinar that we're producing, or an interview. Someone signs up to do an interview on Techstrong TV. And then we all have our workflows inside of our board. Some of them common, some of them unique to that kind of work, custom piece of content. So it doesn't happen until it's in Trello in many cases for us. But you don't get there overnight too. You really kind of start with this is the. We're having trouble orchestrating this so many times, and it's repeatable, but it's just too complex to repeat it reliably. And so let's figure out a way to automate it. One of the things I want to ask you about is my introduction to Trello was because it follows Kanban, right? It's a visual workflow.
That's right.
Matter of fact, that's why I introduced it to Techstrong, because we have DevOps.com as one of our biggest sites. It's like, well, if we're going to talk about visual workflow, let's do it with visual workflows. So we worked with Trello. Is that still true? Is that one of the appealing factors of why you want to use Trello?
Absolutely. And I could say like we are all, each one of us is different in terms of our work style and preferences. And some people are very kind of, let's say, linear, methodical, like they like a very structured workflow. And then some people are kind of more kind of right brain, creative, or they're more spatial in terms of thinking about their work. Like in their mind, they're like, okay, there's something I need to do, and that's top left on my Trello board, and something that I'm trying to get to by the end of this week, and that's top left on my board. So they have that spatial organization and spatial memory, and Trello is that tool. And it's like that whether you use it on a computer or on your phone or you project it on a TV, it always has that visual spatial element to it. And it's tactile, like when you move a Trello card from one list to another list, you get that sense of spatial orientation. So that has been true for Trello for 13 years, and we have continued to maintain that. It's very responsive, works on any device, real time. And when people are collaborating, they're seeing the same thing. Like you could have, as you mentioned, a news organization where someone is on the ground in Europe and there's an editor in New York and you are here doing a piece in Las Vegas.
Happens?
And everyone is seeing the same Trello board in real time and getting that real-time update. So it's a very, very efficient product, very spatial and visual. Now, since we are talking about visual, let me talk about something new in Trello.
Okay,
and
wonderful.
You'd say, like, what could you do new in Trello?
How could it get any better? How could you make it better?
Well, I mean, people love Trello because it's visual and it's colorful. So when we talk about color, it's like the Trello boards are colorful because you can upload your own image and colors, and the whole kind of canvas is very beautiful and colorful. Well, Trello cards are also colorful because you can create card cover images, you can upload GIFs and have motion, and it's all beautiful. Well, the one thing which wasn't colorful in Trello, we just added color to that, and that's the Trello list or the columns. So now the board, the card, and the columns on the Kanban board are all colorful. And I mean, you would have guessed like Trello has been around for over a decade, like we have made it as colorful as we can. But no, there was still one more place, and that was the columns and the list that we have added color to recently. And our users love that. Like that's what they have been asking for from us, that the reason they come to Trello, I mean, there are many to-do list type applications in the world. There's no dearth of them, but the reason everybody comes to Trello is because it's so easy to use, it's visual, spatial, tactile, and we are making it more visual, more colorful. So that's been our journey, and we like it that our users love it and they tell each other about it, and it's been a wonderful journey for Trello.
Interesting. You would think, oh, adding color.
Yeah.
No big deal, right? Just add color. Why is that an important thing? And what I would share is even like gamification of our work, right? So
right.
The confetti visual animation, when you move something into the done column,
Yep.
I've had more than one person say, oh, that's so cool. I just feel so good about my work.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's enjoying.
Yeah.
It's not making the next tool the next drudgery. It's
Right.
making this tool not only helpful but also it's fun to work with.
Absolutely.
It's much better than staring at a white column list spreadsheet that's 80 columns wide or 8,000 columns wide. Some of it.
Yeah.
But have an environment where you enjoy working.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. So our journey has been pretty much continue to keep Trello very accessible, user-friendly, and we never want to compromise that because that's what makes Trello so special and more visual and more colorful. The other thing which we can talk about is we are in the world of kind of generative AI and kind of making Trello.
I had the timer going. How long before we talk about generative
Exactly.
AI? So you made it under the wire. You're good.
Yeah, now is the time. So something that we recently launched in Trello is generative AI, where if you have a Trello card and you're typing something as a description, the generative AI can assist you with kind of adding more description to the card or adding more details to the card. Now, that's a use case that almost every application in the world has tried to kind of mimic in a way that, well, if you have to write some text, then can we use generative AI to automatically write that text? One area where we feel like we can push the frontier in Trello, because Trello is very visual, is not only create like a description in a card, but really understand what is the user trying to accomplish. So sometimes you get an email and it has a bunch of things for you to do, like a long email, lots of action items. And oftentimes what we'll do is we'll mark that email, snooze it, or send it to a Trello board, and we're like, okay, I'll come back to it later and read it again and then figure out all the things I need to do. But generative AI can parse that email for all the action items, all the key things that can be done. So that's one area we are working on, where like if you get an email, you get a Slack message, Microsoft Teams message, like can Trello automatically parse that and create your workflow in Trello? So you can have cards or checklists within the card based on what's the set of things that you need to do. So we want to make sure that generative AI is really helping people manage their workflow in a very, very efficient manner. And I mean, Trello is where people manage their work.
If you want, I can send you a long list of Zapier automations, and you can say, hey, we can do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we have had Trello users who have used Zapier for over a decade and created like very interesting workflows in terms of connecting their calendar with Trello, connecting their email and Slack and Microsoft Teams with Trello, and any other kind of application. Like if you're a salesperson using Salesforce, if you are an HR person using Workday. So all kinds of integrations can be built, but with generative AI now we can do it in a more seamless manner, and we can extract meaning out of a large body of text. So it's one thing to say like, let's create a Trello card when you get an email. It's another thing to read that email, understand that there are 10 subtasks that you need to do that's included in that email, and create a Trello checklist with those 10 subtasks. So that's where generative AI is actually pushing the frontier of not only automating things by connecting different software tools, but finding meaning in every action item and then breaking it into subparts. So it's an exciting era, and we are...
I have a feature request.
Go ahead. Yeah.
When I'm using Team or Slack or Zoom, you know, now you can get recording software that will tell you, here's the notes from the meeting, and usually it's a set of action items.
That's
Guess what? We'd love to have that.
Absolutely.
Hey, create those cards for us. Make
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we get a lot of our action items from these meetings, so certainly. And I mean, Atlassian has the Loom product that we have acquired last year. And Loom,
tell folks what Loom is,
Yeah, so Loom is an async video communication tool. So oftentimes, and I know you will be talking to the Loom team as well. So
and we use Loom also.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So Loom is an async video communication tool where oftentimes people are sending emails or Slack messages, but it's very hard to explain what exactly you want to communicate only in text format. So Loom is the video format in which you are almost sending a video postcard to your colleagues, co-workers, your customers, partners, to explain your concepts, ideas in a more visual way. So if you have a bug in your product and you want to show what it looks like, you send a Loom video with that. If you want a feature, you show what you are looking for and expecting, and send that to your teams and explain that to them. And Loom is a new way of working. So we'll be working on more integrations between Loom and other Atlassian products. And I like your feature request that if you get some action items coming out of a video, then we can transcribe it, we can extract meaning out of it, and then create Trello cards and the checklist in Trello cards based on that.
I have a long list of to-dos that I can send you.
Perfect.
Test data. You know, it's interesting. We use Loom for like when we're rolling something new out. Hey, sales team, here's a new thing. Here's how you do it in HubSpot or CRM or whatever it might be. It's a great visual way of just 3-minute sort of, YouTube-ish kind of video, but built right into your workflow.
Absolutely.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Well, Trello was acquired, about 7 years ago?
That's right.
Atlassian, right?
Yep.
And of course, when things get acquired, you wonder, is it going to become Atlassianized, and is it going to be able to recognize it in 2 years, or is it going to hold true to what made the product so great that they acquired it?
Yeah.
And certainly Atlassian has kind of let Trello be Trello. If
Yep.
But there's also so much more we could probably do if there's some more connective tissue between Trello and Jira or whatever the other
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that is a big wind-up to say, I think you've got some announcements, right?
Yeah, so like one thing which you highlighted is that Trello has been part of Atlassian for 7 years, and it has kind of kept its Trello-ness or its uniqueness in a way because Atlassian values that aspect of Trello. A lot of times acquisitions are not successful, products fizzle out, but this has been a successful acquisition for Atlassian. As I mentioned, we have had over 100 million users that have created a Trello account. So Trello has its own unique place in that sense that people use Trello in a complementary way to other Atlassian products. Now, one thing which we have been kind of focusing on is we want to help companies standardize on a single way of working, and we want to describe that as an Atlassian system of work. So there's kind of some basic platform level capabilities that every company needs, like they need to be able to create user accounts, secure them, analytics, reporting. So that's an Atlassian level kind of platform level capability. Then every user in a company, every employee in a company needs to have a project management tool, knowledge management. I talked about video communication, so Loom type capabilities. And then there are specialized capabilities, like if you are in customer service, IT service, you have a service solution. If you are in software development, you have software development capabilities. So we are trying to explain this way of working as the Atlassian system of work. And Trello kind of nicely fits into the Atlassian system of work, where we want Jira to be the project management tool for the entire company, and we want Trello to be more around individual productivity, personal productivity. So like every user has lots of work to do in many, many different tools. So it's not only about project management because you get emails and Slacks and calendar notifications, and you have things in Jira and Salesforce and so on. So Trello can be more of your kind of personal assistant to plan and plan your work and plan your day. And Jira can be the project management solution for your team. So as we have announced at this conference, we have made a lot of investment in improving Jira and making it accessible to not just tech workers and developers, but also all the creative people and non-technical people in a company. So we want Jira to be that single platform where tech and non-tech teams, so basically the entire company, can collaborate together on projects. And then we have Jira Align, which can connect the projects to the company level strategy. Mm-hmm. So we are trying to standardize on Jira project management and then Jira for connecting projects to the company level strategy. And Trello is more for helping each individual be more productive.
Okay,
yeah.
So it sounds like Trello DNA is kind of transferred into Jira, if you will, in some ways.
Absolutely, it's been kind of nice, helping each product get the best of it and learn from each other. So Trello has learned a lot and Jira has learned a lot. Jira has gotten a lot more visual as Trello teams and Jira teams have worked together. So if you have used Jira Work Management, which is now part of the Jira experience, and in that we have board backgrounds, we are working on card cover images. So we want to make sure that project management brings the best of the visual aspect of Trello. So Jira has gotten a lot more visual, a lot more accessible. It's much more mobile friendly. So that's been a great journey for Atlassian to continue to evolve Jira and make it useful for all employees in a company, and continuing to evolve Trello for where Trello is uniquely different and complementary to Jira.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, how do you see this kind of the progression path for maybe some customers are only using Trello, not using Jira yet?
Sure.
What's that look like? Are some things going away in Trello that now are being, so you need to be in Jira to do that, or kind of do it in either environment? How do you think that works?
Sure. So Jira is actually used in most companies around the world. Now, there are a few use cases where you could say that companies were only using Trello, from freelancers, solo entrepreneurs, small businesses, where they were not using Jira because traditionally, like they did not have a tech type of workflow. So those use cases are relatively simple. I mean, either it's like one person or a team of 2 or 3 people, and they're just collaborating. And Trello is very user-friendly for those type of use cases, and that'll remain. So we will continue to refine Trello and make Trello useful and accessible for those use cases. For typically a bigger team, a more structured team, Trello is not the tool for project management. And now we know a lot of companies use Trello, try to use Trello for a big project, but we believe Jira is a better solution for managing and coordinating a big project. And that's why we are helping our customers move to Jira for managing big, large-scale projects. And in most cases, they're already using Jira because Jira has been pretty much present in all organizations around the world. Jira has been around for almost 20 years.
That it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to do a critical path analysis on Trello, but which, is that the right tool to be doing that in, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, we believe it's a very complementary use case where every person has a project management need, but every person also needs to plan their own work, organize their own work. And Trello is the way to plan your own work, and Jira is the way to manage projects and coordinate dependencies with other teams.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Is Trello changing a lot, or is it more Jira changing to be able to take on work in some of the ways that Trello works?
Right. No, I mean, we could start by saying that the world is changing a lot.
Of course,
and
that's why I'm curious. Hopefully things are always changing,
Absolutely,
evolving, and
absolutely. And as the world is changing and evolving, we as software people that are building this software, we have to keep on evolving the software too. So some aspects of Jira, which make Jira so unique, will continue to be there. Like people like some sort of format, structure, they want to standardize workflows in a company, they want to automate workflows, and Jira is really, really good at that. So we want to preserve that and build other things on top of it. On the other hand, Trello was very easy to use, it was very visual, very spatial. We want to preserve that. So there are aspects of Trello which we will preserve, but we will also continue to add more things to it. I mean, we just talked about generative AI. So if you're getting an email and you want to track your action items through that, like that's a very typical Trello use case where you want some sort of extracting meaning out of your email, extracting meaning out of your Slack message or calendar appointment or your Salesforce action items, or as you mentioned, a Zoom meeting action items. And those things can easily go on your Trello board or on your Trello to-do items.
Very good.
Yeah.
Great. Any other announcements that we're touching on today, or that's enough? That's a lot happening.
We've covered a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And I'll just kind of close off by saying that Trello was the most visual and colorful tool, and we have added even more color to Trello.
More color.
So there are beautiful card covers, there are board backgrounds and board colors, and now we have list colors. So you can design your own magical workflow in the visual, colorful way that Trello has been, and it's even more colorful. And you can use it on your phone, Android, iOS, you can use it on web, and then some of our customers just project Trello boards on a big screen on a wall.
And that too, we did that in one of our test labs for that same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Gaurav, it's been fantastic talking with you. Congratulations on the announcements and the continued evolution of Trello and Jira.
Great, thank you.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
All right, if you haven't checked out Trello yet, be sure and do that, of course, along with Jira. So we'll be back with another great interview in just a moment.
Absolutely, thank you.